I am so privileged and so happy and so proud. Back in 2003, 2004, a gem was ignited from Manchester. That gem I'm talking about is the twice Mobo nominated singer-songwriter Nicola. She is back with a brand new banger, absolutely amazing. I can't stop playing it in the car, on my phone, and she joins me here today. She's been through an amazing, I don't know if it's traumatic time, but she has gone through it and she's looking amazing, and she's with me today. Nicola from Manchester, Songbird, good to see you.
So excited to be here. Woo, woo.
Thank you for joining me. You look absolutely amazing. And I've been I've been following you on, I think your social media posts, Instagram and Facebook, and there was a picture of you before, and you were 13 stone, and then you went down to 11, looking absolutely amazing. Now, we did speak last year, and last year you were I think you were in a wheelchair last year. Let's just recap what happened let's recap what happened and talk about the journey so far up until the single. So what happened?
So I was in the middle of just finished the tour, and we just finished working on this project, and was really excited about releasing this new project, this body of work. And I was just en route to one of my schools to lead an assembly with some kids. And I remember hearing the news, and they were talking about the terrorist attacks that had happened on London Bridge. I remember it so vividly. And before I knew it, I was involved in a serious road traffic accident. A car literally just cut across me on my driver's side. And I just remember blacking out. And the next minute, I was being dragged from my vehicle, and they were shouting, get her out, because the car might explode. And then the next minute, there was either a woman or an angel, or I don't actually know, that was holding my hand, and she said to me, Jesus is with you, Jesus is with you. And it was the most bizarre, shocking experience. I'd just come off the back of so much great stuff, and yet I found myself in this accident, and I didn't know what was ahead of me. I was told by the doctors that nothing was broken, and that I'd make, a quick recovery sort of in, maybe a month or two. And what I thought would be a month or two turned out to be a living nightmare, pretty much, being perfectly honest. So it was December 2019, just before the global pandemic hit, and I literally couldn't walk. I couldn't cook, I couldn't clean. I had to have help in every single aspect and area of my life. And it just felt as though, how can you come from such a high place of doing the will of God, doing the work of the ministry, and then all of a sudden, everything just comes crashing down before you. And I think as a single woman going through that, in the midst of a pandemic, it was tough. I can't exaggerate. I can't make it sound better than it was. It was tough. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to walk again. That was the reality. And I didn't actually get a diagnosis for the pain and the symptoms that I was experiencing until almost a year later. So I was going through all this suffering. I was getting all these wrong, incorrect diagnoses, and getting all these false promises, and living in the pain and the suffering of what I was going through. And in that season, it was just like music just became non-existent. I couldn't do anything. I mean, let's be real. If you can't even walk, then, the likelihood of you performing again is going to be very unlikely. So it was a real tough, traumatic time. But in that time, I learned a lot of things about myself, about God, about my relationship with God, about my faith. And about having resilience in the midst of the worst time of your life, and how the ability to know God is real, even in suffering, is something that I will never forget. I will never forget those days when I wanted to just be me, but I couldn't be me because I was held down by my own body. But in those times, I saw God through people who helped me. I saw God through consistent phone calls of family and friends. I saw God through provision. I saw God through even still being able to be a witness to people, even in my own pain and suffering. And so, yes, it was the worst time of my life, but equally through those seasons, I learned so many things that it's changed me forever.
That's powerful. I mean, one thing that just got me was the fact that you said single pandemic. And to me, we went through a pandemic where everyone was isolated. So you had a disability for nearly a year while being isolated on your own. So you had to cope on your own with wow. So how did you, okay, so let's fast forward. You got rid of the chair. What was the next step?
The next step was I'm on medication now. I've been on that medication for probably about 8-10 months now. And that basically just helps my symptoms to subside, and helps me to be more active. So I had to learn to walk again. So started that in November. Going out on my own, there was so much anxiety. There was driver's anxiety. What if something happens? What if I fall over? All these things that we take for granted because most people can walk. But when you are in this new world, you realize that the world isn't necessarily disability friendly everywhere. Do you know what I mean? So you learn to do things, and then you have to learn to get your independence back again. I was off work for like 15 months. I hadn't worked. And even just being alert, doing something for a consistent period of time was tough in itself, because you're used to a routine of everything is very, very low key, from, your sort of waking up, that's an achievement. If you get downstairs, that's an achievement. If you get a shower within 3 days, it's an achievement. And I think saying that sounds so like why would you say that? But the reality of what I'd gone through was such a contrast to where I am right now. And I am so, so, so thankful to Jesus for sticking by me in the midst of that trouble. And I can actually say, hand on heart, which sounds absolutely crazy, I can stand with Paul, and I can stand with the other pilgrims that walk through tough times and say, do you know what? It was actually good for me to be afflicted. And the reason I say that is because the person that's come out of that trauma and out of that pain is a completely different Nicola. I have so much burning passion and zeal and fire to do the will of God that I don't care about all the stuff that I cared about before. I don't actually care. We've got to do the job. We've got to crack on, because Jesus is actually coming back. If you haven't seen anything in the last 18 months, 2 years time, the writing is on the wall. And so for me, I kind of feel like if I hadn't gone through those things, certain things wouldn't feel the same, or I wouldn't be experiencing the same joy even of, do you know, like when the Bible says joy comes in the morning, when you really find that joy that comes in the morning, you wake up and you're like, yes, what are we doing today? Come on, Jesus. Yeah. Come on, we're ready. And that's how I feel.
So, and now, I mean, it kind of works into the new single, Living My Best Life. It is, for me, I mean, I can't stop playing it. I love it. Produced by
Thank
Ian
you.
Green. Tell us about that track.
So what I've learned about God is he'll make you write a song that isn't about now. He'll make you write a song that you're going to be tested on in the future. And Living My Best Life, I wrote that pre all this happening. So you imagine I'm listening to this song and I don't think I'm living my best life right now, but actually I was, because living my best life isn't about what I have in my bank account or what I'm driving or who I've got on my side. Living my best life is actually about, with the little that I have, I present it to Jesus and I use the little and I choose to multiply it. With the little that I have, I choose to tell that little, whether it's my testimony, whether it's my story, whether it's my suffering, I choose to share that it will edify and encourage someone else and inspire someone else. So living my best life is wherever you're at right now, that can be your best life, but make sure you put 100% in. Make sure at the end of the day, you're not living in that regret. Do you know what I mean? Because we've come too far. We've come too far and life is too short.
When's the single coming out?
So the single is actually out in 10 days time. So September the 10th.
Wow.
So really excited, man. Really excited to finally be sharing some new music. Well,
I'm so looking forward to making sure that song is just going to be put out there. I love that song so much. Nicola, it's always a pleasure. We're proud of you. You look fantastic. It's great to see you. And we can't wait for you to come into the studio as well.
I know, right? I know. Soon.
It's been too long. Oh, how can people connect with you?
So I am on the socials. My main one is Instagram. So at Nicola Music, which is NICOLA Music. I'm all over there. Please feel free to join me there. I am on Twitter as well, but Instagram's kind of my main account. And yeah, hopefully. What was that? Sorry?
For the kids, the young people.
Yeah, it's for the kids. I am on TikTok, but I'm still, sort of working out this, that, and the other,
Nicola, thank you so much. And we really pray the success of this brand new single. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Ibe.
Premier Gospel.